Good morning, welcome everybody. Today is an interesting subject. Let me just get TikTok on. Good morning, everybody. So today I decided to talk about how to get a provider man, and why. I will tell you why. Because because I think it's an interesting subject, and I think a lot of people would be beneficial for many people to listen to this. Now, let me, before you will start listening, mention that a provider man doesn't mean that he's going to be a rich man. So if you are here to find out how to get a wealthy man into your life, then this is not the video for you. This is about getting a provider man. And from my experience, from my life, I will tell you, the most presents, most expensive presents, the most money I got from men who were not very wealthy and who should have probably not spent that much, but they did because they wanted to impress me and they wanted to feel good about themselves. So provider man is not always wealthy. There are often wealthy men who do not provide, who do not spend, and often they are by themselves because of that. They believe that everybody wants them for their money, when in fact it might not be true, and so they basically like almost try to avoid people and try not even to date. So a wealthy man does not always mean that he's going to be a provider. Now, so we are talking today how to get a provider man, whether he's wealthy or not wealthy, but the one that will be providing for you. Why also, so I got inspired to do this video by another, I'm not sure who she was, but she mentioned something like this. And I'm like, I need to make a video like this, my own video, and see. She was not doing a video, like I think it was like a post or something, and I never really did nothing like this. I have a video how to change your energy and change your love life. I have a video how to make your man a provider. So the man that you already have, how to change him to be a provider. I will put this most of these videos. I have a video on how to the 10 conditions that you need to meet for a man to provide for you. I also will put all three of them. I will put them. I already prepared them. So after I finish, I'll put them. So, but I never really put like steps of how to draw a provider man into your life. And this is what I'm going to talk to you about today. And why today? I'm not sure. Jupiter is transferring my first house. I want to expand myself. And if I will go this route, if I decided to just be in a relationship with a man who's providing, then I will do what I'm going to tell you today. Now, certain actions I'm already doing, just because they come naturally to me, and but certain I would probably add if I would decide to go with the with the route of just having a provider man who is going to support my life, my ambition. So at least just be in my life. All right. So I already mentioned provide management. So okay. Let's start. So the first one that I would mention, and there is a reason why I'm mentioning this one as the first point that I would do, the first action, is because some of my clients are doing it often. And me too. I used to be like this too. So the first one is, please be, so we're looking for a provider man, right? This is what we're putting our focus on provider man. So what you need to stop doing is you need to stop being bothered by men who do not provide, who cannot provide. Why? Because the more you think about this, the more you focus on those men, the more you will be attracting this into your life. If somebody could not give you something, do not argue, do not fight, do not talk about this with your girlfriends. Just move on. Okay, so one bad apple in the basket, that's fine. This just do not anyhow react. Do not try to prove him that a man has to provide. Don't. Nobody needs this. He knows this, this. You just move on and hope, and know that there will be better. I used to be like, I used to write text messages like this, trying to prove that I'm right. Who needs this? I would just waste my energy into nothing. If you're sure that you can attract a provider man, you wouldn't even be bothered by that. It's like if I will go and buy 15 croissants and 2 of them are bad, what I'm going to complain about those 2 bad? I will eat the rest happy and wouldn't think about those 2. All right. So why also you shouldn't be doing it? Because when you are detached from the outcome, men can feel it, and so when they can feel it, they start acting differently. It's when you are too attached to the outcome. It's like you have a carrot in front of you, and a man is going to be dangling it in front of you, and you will be following him again and again. Now, if you tell a man, I would like this, and he's not getting you nothing, or I would like to go there, and he's not taking you there. Okay, so you know what? Then let's take a break. That's it. You're detaching yourself. You're not attached to him, and now he will know if he wants to be in your life. He has to step up. I do it all the time, even now, even without looking for provide the man. I do that because I'm not playing the games. I'm not in that age anymore. I'm not in that energy state. Like, I'm not going to go back and forth. Yes, yes, no, no. Let's move on. So this is the first thing. Don't be bothered by men who are not providers. Don't react anyhow. Don't talk about that, and do not and be detached from the outcome. Honestly, when you're detached from the outcome, you will receive everything much faster. All right. So the second one is you need to start mentioning something like, I love to be taken care of. I love when men to provide. You don't have to say to your man. You need to start saying this to yourself, and to maybe your girlfriends, maybe even your family, your parents, your siblings. I will tell you why do you need to, and obviously later on to man. Why do you need to start saying this? Because it's an absolutely uncomfortable state, and if you were never been provided for, you will be very awkward with it. So what you need to do, you need to become comfortable with it. Once you will become comfortable with this state, you will start attracting men who provide. You will see, I did this a long time ago. I remember how hard it was for me to say to my friend. And that I remember we were in Manhattan, we were having lunch, and I needed to blurt it out. I knew this. I had it on my agenda. And she's very independent, kind of successful woman. I was and am was independent, successful woman. I had a great career, good money, and I told her, I would love to have a man who would support me. And she looked at me like, is this the same Anastasia I know? And it was very hard for me to say it. It was hard to even pronounce those few words. It was hard for me to even admit it to myself, not even to say it to somebody. But after a while, it became easier. I remember I said it to my colleagues at one point. So I started saying things like this, and I started believing in them. My mind started accepting this as a possibility, and I started attracting men like this. This is the funniest thing, that I started seeing men who are providers around me, and those men wanted to provide for me. At that time, I was working, so they were, sometimes the client would bring me a bouquet of flowers or something delicious to it, or a gift card. There was particular rules. I mean, I couldn't accept too much, but little things like this, they were bringing me. So I started attracting provider men into my life, even though they were not my man, but still they were providing for me. So you need to start saying this. Before you will start looking for provider man, make sure your mind is open to this kind of, to this thing. You see, for many people, it's very uncomfortable when somebody else is paying your bills. You would think that it should be comfortable, but it's not, because you will feel like, oh my God, I owe something. I need to do something. Maybe I need to cook and clean. Maybe I need to be a little extra in bed or something else. So you need to start talking about this like it's a normal thing. And the more you will speak about this, the more you will start seeing it in your life. So start saying things like this, not necessarily to men. If you never been provided for, and now you will go on a date with the man, and you will tell him, I want a man who will provide for me, he will laugh at your face because you don't believe in this, you see? So start with yourself, start with your immediate family, start with your girlfriends. And when they will argue, are you sure? Why would you want that? You will tell them, well, I think it would be a good, a good kind of practice. I think it would be a good experience. I would love to see how I would feel when a man is providing for me. Justify it for yourself before you will move on with everything else. Not this is very important. I always tell my clients also, look, I had a client a while back, like maybe 2 years ago, and she came to me. She was referred. So she came to me and she's like, Anastasia, I want you to make me a gold digger. I'm like, okay, sure, you know. And I told her, this is your first task. This is what you need to do. You need to tell your friends and you need to tell your mother. So she had a very close relationship with her mom, that you want to be a gold digger. She's like, no, I cannot. They will not understand me. No, this and this. And I knew at that moment she doesn't believe in herself. She doesn't believe that she deserves to be a gold digger. She doesn't believe that she can be provided for. You see, what was the point of me to waste her time and her resources if I knew she doesn't even believe in that? So that was her first task, and only when she believed that she could do that, only then, only when she spoke not to her mom but to her friends and she told them what she wants to do, only then I told her, okay, so we can continue getting you there. And she did. She got her there, but she had to change her mind first. So this is what you need to do. Start speaking that you do want to be provided for. Don't be ashamed of that. I remember I was very ashamed. So don't be. It's normal. I mean, men want to care for somebody. Why not for you? It's just normal. Okay, and this third one that I would do, I would stop from here. I would stop proving everybody that I want to be super independent, that I am super independent, that I don't need nobody. Look, this is a defense mechanism. What you're trying to do, you're trying to show that you are good enough to be provided by trying to prove that you are independent. This is it's like a running in circle and trying to get some kind of outcome, and you are running in circle. So you need to stop with that. Okay, you are independent, good for you. But provider man, they don't look for competitions. They don't come. They don't look for for somebody to compete with. They don't want to compete with your inner masculinity. They will, but they don't want to, and they don't really want to compete with your success. Be successful. I mean, obviously everybody loves a successful person. Everybody loves it, gives you this confidence and everything, but don't throw it in everybody's face. I can do it myself, I can buy it myself, I can take myself there. The man will say, well, why do you need me? You also attracting men who are weaker, who are feminine, who wouldn't mind to go along for a ride with you. So you don't need that. And this was my mistake, honestly, a long time ago. I would attract strong men, and then I would be like, oh, I'm so successful, I'm so good, I have this amount of money, and they would be like giving up on their ambitions, because why would they already have a man in their life. It was me. So don't do that. Stop with this independent stuff. I mean, it's a good thing. Obviously everybody should be independent, even if you're provided for. You should have your own kind of resources, but do not throw it into everybody's face, and don't try to prove that you're independent. It's okay to be not very independent. Inside that you are, but you don't have to speak about this. Okay. I even put over here, man, don't look for business partners. They look to be useful to somebody. All right. So the next one is when you talk to girls, to men. Well, let's start with girls. So with friends, with your colleagues, with your coworkers, with anybody. When you're talking to somebody, make sure that you don't have this kind of thoughts like, am I good enough? Am I bringing enough to the table? Am I will I provide enough? Will a man who is going to provide for me think that I'm enough? You need to stop with that. You're already enough. Again, we're not attracting a wealthy man today. We're attracting a provider man. A provider man could be a really average kind of man with maybe $1 million only. So it's, for where I live, this is very average. So it's not like you are attracting a billionaire. You're attracting a regular man who just wants to have somebody for company and to provide for them. It's not that much. So you need to get rid of all those thoughts about whether you are enough or not enough. You are enough. You will attract somebody who matches your energy. That means that you are already enough. Do not lower your energy so to attract somebody who will match your energy lower. So all these conversations, am I enough? Am I bringing enough? Am I doing enough? Is no good. You need to get rid of them. If you are with your goals, and they will be the conversation will go in this way. Oh, man wants somebody who is slender, or man wants somebody who knows how to cook. Stop those conversations right away, and tell them something like, no, if somebody speaks like this in front of you, that means that it's somewhere inside. So tell something like, no, that's not true. There are men who don't like to cook. I mean, obviously, I know a few a few men who love to cook. They're not looking for a woman who's going to cook for them. So, anyways, this is the conversation that you should not be having. Make sure watch it, because this shows the doubts that you have inside for yourself. If you have those doubts are going to be shown to you by man, by everybody around you. So don't do that. You don't need those kind of conversations. All right, so the next thing that you need to do, that I would do also, is you need to stop explaining your standards. Now, I used to do this. I would be honest. I mean, I never really over explain my standards, but I have friends who over explain their standards. Who would write, my standard is that a man should do this and this and this. If a man is not doing this, that means you don't have those standards. You just want to have those standards. That's all. It's just, a standard is something that is felt energetically. It's not something that, that you can force somebody to do. You either have standards or you don't. Like me, I would not allow anybody to curse in front of me or to speak any kind of in a foul language. I don't know. I don't like that, especially when these are men. I would not listen to men. I would not sit next to men who speak like this. One time I was on the beach and there were a couple of my neighbors that were talking not in a very good language. So I just get up and I left. I'm not going. And I told them, I'm like, it's impossible to sit next to you. Your language. But I would not. So men never speak like this in front of me. I never attract the man who would be like cursing or something, in my presence at least. I don't know what they do over there. But this is my standard. They feel it. I never said a man, except for this two that were over there on the beach. I never said a man that I was dating, please don't speak like this. Never. I mean, they somehow feel it. So this is the standards. You see, standards are felt. If you need to enforce your standards into others, then these are not standards. These are your standards want to be. You want them to be your standards, and you're not. Like somebody's. I was reading on Facebook that the girl was writing. So the guy did not act to her as what she think are standards, and she wrote to me, "My standards are." And the guy just sent LOL to her, and she's all upset. Of course he is, because you're trying to enforce the standards that you don't have inside of you, and that will not help. This will not never do. So do not do that. Standards are something felt. If a man is not acting towards the standards, then these are not your standards. Then you need to start enforcing those standards yourself first. If a man never takes you out to dinner, are you taking yourself out to dinner? Do you go to dinner and you don't feel like it's a waste of money? It's like a waste of time, a waste of resources, Make sure you do have those standards. Make sure when you go to dinner and you spend money, you don't sit over there and you're like, my God, why did I have to spend this $200 on the dinner? Do not do that. Man will not do that to you. So standards are do not explain standards ever. You will look pathetic if you will start. My standards are, yeah, he feels their standards. He feels not only him, a lot of people feel his standards, so, and I understand this. What do you think? I mean, I'm in the same boat. If somebody does not act toward like I want, I mean, what I'm going to blame here? I mean, the only person I need to raise my standards, that's all, nothing else. If somebody doesn't perform to your standards, just leave, and that's it, and work on them to raise them up. All right, so the next thing that I would do, I would stop being, I would stop care, not like this. I would start speaking more authentically to everybody, not only to men, to everybody around me. So what I mean by authenticity, by speaking authentically, authenticity is a very, it's an aphrodisiac. People love people who are so faithful themselves, who just say, who are not pretending. You can feel the fakeness from far away. So I would say what works for me, what doesn't work for me. I wouldn't be afraid to hurt anybody's feelings, especially men. Men are very, they need validation, but they are very much appreciating honesty. That's much better than playing some kind of game. So I would speak like this. I would only worry about whether I'm offending myself by being not faithful to myself. Everybody else, I would not really care that much. Now, if I'm disappointed at one point, I would not make a scene. Just the same as with standards, I would just leave and be done. I remember that was a lesson for me with my second husband. He was cheating. I didn't know how to prove that, and my sister was there with her boyfriend, And at one point, when he was not acting, when he was acting really bad, I mean, all our plans went down. So, anyways, it was a difficult situation. And you know what it means? Instead of just walking out, I basically um, start fighting with him in front of my sister and her boyfriend. It looked very, very sad, very weak on my part. So, and my sister told me, my little sister, she told me at that time, he should have told us, let's go, we're not staying here no longer, we would live with you. And this was a lesson for me. You see, if I would do that, I would look much stronger than I was bringing my drama out in front of them. So again, speak when there is something not up to your standards, just leave and let that person prove that the standards will be reestablished. Do not make a scene. This is very weak. All right, so speak authentically. If you don't like something, then just leave, or speak about this. If they are not changing, just do not try to change anybody. It will not do. You will just exhaust your energy on that. And also make sure that speak about when you speak about your life and about what you want. Speak about it like it's already done. Don't speak and like when will I get a man, then he will do this for me. And this, nobody wants that kind of pressure. So when you speak, make sure that you like, I do want to go to Switzerland next year. This is my plans. So if a man really is a provider, he will chip in, or he will jump in on the opportunity. Can I go with you? Can I give you something for you to enjoy your trip much more? So do not speak about as if it's already your life. You already have the life that you're planning to have with the man who is providing for you. He will try to sneak into that life. If you would be like, oh, I wish I can go to Switzerland, but I don't know, this, it's not like this is its weakness again. A man will be like, okay, so she wants to go to Switzerland, now I can kind of use that for her to to follow me around. No, don't do that. It's not. So this is about how I would talk again. Think only about yourself, being faithful to yourself. So speak authentically, speak about what you like, what you don't like. I mean, don't be obviously a difficult little child, but speak, politely, but authentically. If you don't like something, if you're disappointed, you don't have to make a scene. This is not very feminine at all. Remember, we're not physically strong. You can't be fighting with people then. You can't exhaust your energy either. So just leave, and let that person run after you. I regretted so many times in the past where I could have just took a cab and left. Instead, I was just over there trying to prove my point, for no reason. So don't do that. Nobody will appreciate this. It's the stupidest thing that you can do. I'm telling you, this is the person who did this, and numerous times people in my life were showing me, why would you do this? Why? So it was a lesson that I had to learn, but thanks God I did. All right. So and do speak about your life, as you don't need nobody, but you will get them. So all right. So the next thing that I would do, well, I do it already, but I would mention it because a lot of my clients have difficulty with that. And I would mention this. So I would start. Well, I would advise you to start trusting men in your life. If you want a man to provide for you, you need to start believing that he can. You see, and that has to start with some kind of smaller steps. Now, if you have a brother, for example, and you're asking him for some kind of favor, and you believe that, oh, he will never do that or something, this is not trusting man. You need to start trusting men around you. So those men that are around you right now. So let's imagine you have I don't know, a male friend, and he's not the most trustworthy, but you're like you tell him, hey, let's go to lunch today on Sunday. And he's like, okay, I'll pick you up at 1. And then you sit over there and you're like, I don't know, maybe he wouldn't even come. Like this. I'm only giving an example. I don't even know man like this, but you need to change that, and you need to know. I know he's going to. I know he's going to come. I know, like he wouldn't let me, or if he will not come, he will make it up to me. So you need to start trusting men around you. If you think I will get a man who I can trust, then I will start trusting. That doesn't work like this. You need to start trusting from the right now, from men around you. And if you have these trust issues, you probably have men around you who you need to work to fix this with. Probably either maybe like at one point I had a roommate we lived together for a long time. I had a 2-bedroom apartment, so it was like a lot of space. And I remember I was always very not trusting him with anything, honestly. Like, he always paid on time. Everything was, like perfect, but I always was waiting for some kind of something. I don't know. Like, at first, I was listening whether he's bringing anybody, because it was one of the rules. Then I was, then I was making sure he's not smoking in the room, like a lot of things. So you need to start trusting men in your life. You need to start trusting that they are grown ups enough and they will act accordingly. If you do not trust man in your life right now, you will never get a provider man, because you will never believe that he can provide. You see, if you think that you can, it's not doesn't work like this. Every man in your life reflects your thoughts, so you will be attracting only the same kind of crowd. So I read sometimes the Facebook post, and the girls, they are crying, oh my god, why I'm attracting the same man again and again and again, because you have a pattern. I mean, you're not changing that pattern, you need to start changing it. So to change this pattern, you need to start trusting men around you. Even if you have a son, for example, like a teenage son, and you obviously don't treat him as a partner, he's your son, right? But if you believe that he could, like, if you can count that he was responsible enough to prepare himself maybe dinner, that to be a responsible student or something, you will see that he will start showing more of that, and there will be men who will start showing this as well. So, or maybe your father also, usually it comes from the father. So start trusting men who are around you and little things. Don't really trust too much, but with little things you should. All right, so this is next one. The next point that I would do. This is funny. I would let man. I would step back and I would allow man to impress me. Most of the time, when men were really generous with me in my life, or when I really didn't care whether they will be or not, where I didn't try to impress them, was the most. And you know what? This was my mistake for some time. I always wanted, especially if I like somebody, I always wanted to prove that I was good enough for that person. And that person didn't need to do nothing because I'm already all there. So what you need to do, you need to take a step back and allow a man to do something to impress you. If you are not really caring how this conversation or this relationship will go, he will deliver, you will see. Otherwise, why is he in your life? He will have to do something about it. So again, I would not try to impress, especially when you're trying to impress with how that you don't need much, that you are happy with little, that you are just that you are easy to be satisfied. Do not do that. No man wants to date somebody who is low maintenance. What kind of man would be that? I mean, a man wants always to have the best, everything the best. Man wants to have the best car he can afford, the best girl he can afford, the best everything. So why would he want you to be a low maintenance? Um, don't believe this. Don't try to do this. It will not raise you in the eyes of the man. It will it will only be shocking, because the man was approaching the princess, and now he's just having a low maintenance kind of girl that doesn't need much. So anyways, that's what it is. Do not rush into proving that you are not requiring too much. Don't. Obviously, don't come up with your standards. Oh, I need a plane, I need this, I need that. Don't do that too. Be authentic, but do not try to, oh, you know what, I'm good with little, just we don't need to go to a restaurant, let's just grab something, let's just grab a couple empanadas and walk on the beach. Don't. Do not, especially if a man wants to take you to dinner, I mean, grab empanadas with somebody else, with me. Okay. All right, so the next one, oh, this one is very important, and I'm happy that I'm starting practicing this. So if you are looking for a provider man is usually a man who is somewhat busy, a man who feels responsibility for somebody, a man who is looking for to be a leader, kind of. So you need to be a little softer with the man who is a leader. That means you need to be softer, you need to be more flexible with your boundaries. I don't say that you shouldn't be having boundaries, but your boundaries should be a little flexible. One of you has to be feminine. And if you are looking for a provider man, that has to be you. Now, how does it look? I have strong boundaries, really. But my boundaries are somewhat flexible. If I'm looking for a provider man, then I will be flexible. If he's the one who is providing, then I will be flexible. How does it look? If a man is like, oh my God, so we're supposed to go to dinner, let's say at 6 o'clock, and he's like, look, I just got out of. Usually I date businessmen, so like I just finished my meeting or my project or something. I'm running home, I'm taking shower, and then I'm driving to you. Okay, so if he's going to be 15-30 minutes late and he provided me and with an explanation, I will be flexible. He's the one who is providing here. The least I can do is be understanding. Obviously, if he is not abusing it all the time, like I was going out with this guy for some time, and I understand that he's always late, always. I don't know why. So I would make an appointment an hour before. And so he would always come at 6 because I don't like to eat late, and I didn't really want to go out too late. So, anyways, but I would be flexible. I would understand. A provider man doesn't need a mother. He needs a woman he needs peace. He needs a woman who can give him that peace. He already fighting the demons throughout the day. He wants somebody to be calm with, to just feel good with. So I will be softer with my boundaries. Or if, for example, what else could that be? Like if a man promised to take me somewhere, let's say on a short trip, and suddenly he has some business stuff going on, I will understand this. It's not a deal breaker for me, especially if he's truly really working, and I see that he's that he wants to make it up for me, and he will. Man will always reward you for that. You see, so it's not that he doesn't respect you. It just sometimes there are things that are out of his hand. Now, again, if a man starts abusing this and never really following on his promises, then again, standards thing over there. So, but I would be the softer you are, the more a man will care for you, the more he will want to give you, because he knows that you are understanding. Again, don't become a mom, a nagging kind of mom, teaching him how he needs to act. He will feel your standards. Now, if he always abuses your standards, then I'm sorry, that's it. But again, you can navigate. It's not that difficult. I remember one time the guy was very late, and I was like really angry, and he felt it. I came out because I already was dressed. I had the makeup. I didn't cook nothing, so I came out. And I was angry. I didn't speak. Usually, I'm smiling. I'm this and this, and he felt it. So we went to eat, and he bought me a present. We went to eat close to the mall over there, and we went. Yeah, and he's like, I do want to buy you something. We went and bought something little for me, but I really wanted. Okay, so you see, he rewarded me for that. He knew he was wrong. Now, if he wouldn't even acknowledge that, I don't know if I would go out again with him. Okay, then what else? What I would do, and I do it regardless. But what I would suggest to everybody is you need to start living your life like you are not really looking for anybody. I don't say that you don't need to open the door. You should open the door, but if you did all of the above, the door will be open. So you're open to having somebody in your life. You're open to be provided for, but you are not really desperately looking, like a raccoon for some food in the trash, right? You basically just enjoying your life. You couldn't imagine how much men love that. Yesterday I was in Brickell, and then I was in Miami Beach, and I was walking around. I haven't been for some time there, and I wanted to see new art, like just being in that space. I really was enjoying myself. I was not by myself, but I really enjoyed that. Oh my God, how much attention I got. I was not really looking for attention, but I was enjoying myself. And man, they feel that, I was not looking like, will I get somebody? Will I find somebody? I was not, because that was not the reason why I went there. I went there for because I wanted to see, I wanted to see what the changes are, what's new. some places are decorated for Christmas right now. So I just wanted to see all this. And I really enjoyed myself, and I did get attention. If I would be looking really, really for a man, I would have gotten a man myself yesterday. So again, enjoy your life. A woman who is happy in her life is like this magnet, man just want to be around everybody wants to be around a happy person, around a person who is satisfied. That's just how it is. I live here in the building, and sometimes I go to the pool, and I love to sit there and read in the afternoon. It's like my time, 2 hours. I love to sit, read, a little bit sun, like really enjoy this moment. And these guys, they're just always around me. There are women who are eager to talk. Go talk to them. Why are you always on my back? And yet, they're always trying to draw to me because of that. So again, do not pretend that you are not looking. Feel like this. Feel like how you should feel, like, okay, soon I will be in the relationship. Let me enjoy my time right now, because anyways, I'm going to be in a relationship in a couple months. Let me do what I want to do right now. Let me really enjoy my solitude, my single life, and you will see how fast you will be snatched. Okay, so then from here, you need to start romanticizing your life. That would make it easier for you to enjoy your life. You see, now when you are grateful for what you have, when you're grateful and you really appreciate the things that you have, like I constantly tell myself, thank God I'm in Florida. It must be so cold right now in other parts. And it seems like it's a normal thing, but for me, I really, really appreciate that. So anyways, when you start romanticizing little things in your life, you will become, your aura becomes a little wider and not as saturated. It's saturated, but it's calm. It's calm, it's peaceful, and that aura draws people in, not only men but anybody, because everybody wants to feel great about their life, like you feel great about yours. So start romanticizing, little things here, little thing there. It's always good. It makes you, it's a bringing more stuff into your life, somewhat similar. And men do love to provide to women who do not really have that energetic pressure of, oh, you owe me, or you need to give me. They do want to give somebody who already feels like they have everything. And you can see that. I mean, women who really do not, women who have already everything, they usually get huge presents and a lot. I mean, you probably have those friends, and I will tell you, when I feel like this, I'm usually getting more than if I would be desperately like I remember there was this moment I felt like a dry spell, something was on me, and I was like not getting nothing. I'm like, I need to get something. I need to break this pattern. I need to get something. I couldn't get, and the more I couldn't get, the more I was, like I'm not aggressively asking for anything, but I was trying to kind of to manifest, to draw it in. And the more I was trying, the more it was not working. I'm like, okay, let me just refocus on something else. And as soon as I stop focusing on that, I mean, I start getting, I start again getting flowers, getting little presents here and there, getting that attention. So do that. Start enjoying your life, and your energy will become juicier, more attractive, and that stuff. All right. You also make sure that you don't have this kind of beliefs that something like life is hard, I need to struggle, everybody is. Okay, get rid of that. That's not a woman who is kept, who is provided for. Don't. Otherwise, you might be provided, but you can get somebody who is not as nice, and you wouldn't want that. So get rid of all those feelings. Get rid of friends who are showing you that life can be easy, or at least not necessarily very easy, but it could be enjoyable, and you could be getting all that much nicer, much faster, and easier for yourself and for everybody around you. So make sure those thoughts are not in your head. It squeezes your energy, and the more your energy is squeezed, the less you will be getting from the outside, because you're squeezing your aura. Remember, everything in your life corresponds to the wideness of your, the wideness and the vibration of your aura. So if you squeeze in your aura, you'll start getting less. You don't want that. Make sure you expand in your aura all the time. And so that's that. Another thing that I would, from here also, I think it's pretty logical, but I would probably, if you are constantly on your social media, on your Instagram, and you are not like a blogger or a blogger want to be, then I would reduce the post that you're putting. So if you're putting every single step, on your stories, eating here, drinking there, in hopes that the others will, what if they're your boss? Uh, what is that question referred to? To which, which action? So please write me, explain. All right. So what I was telling, oh, so about the social media. So I know, I'm sorry to say it, but I had a couple clients I have still that are like, okay, let me post, let me hope that those guys will see how I'm enjoying my life, and then they will want to do something. Look, it doesn't work like this. I mean, they might really. Uh, I will answer that. Give me a second. So, you'll see. You think that a man will see how you enjoy your life, and he will try to. So, if you're posting genuinely just because you want to post, just because you want to share a moment, do that. But if you're posting in hopes that somebody will see and want to be part of your life, don't do that. If you are like post when you're feeling really great about that. Now, when you are posting too much and all the time, you're too predictable. You're too predictable and you're too available for everybody. A man will be like, oh, he would not know when to squeeze himself into that if he's somewhat not intimidated, but if he is busy. I mean, he doesn't really have this. If you want to have a provider man, you need to be available to him first, and then maybe to somebody else. I don't say that you shouldn't be posting. I mean, I'm not the one who is talking. I post on Instagram every single day. So, but as you see, I post on Instagram picture that I took last year. Yeah, nobody knows what I'm doing in a day-to-day basis. Nobody, no, nobody can. Nobody knows what I'm doing. Nobody knows who I'm spending time with. Like nothing. Like absolutely nothing. Who knows? You will see those pictures that I'm taking now. Maybe next year, if I will even decide to post them. So anyways, what I want to say is that a little discretion is a little better when you're looking for a provider man. You see, no man wants to provide for somebody who will be flexing it all over the social media for everybody else to enjoy. You see, a man wants to provide for somebody who will appreciate him, who will show it to him, who will make him feel special. Not unless your man is really, really enjoying the validation, and you will be like, he's giving you flowers and you posting it like, oh my God, thank you, my prince, or something like that, then maybe. But for the most part, do not be this predictable. Do not be very too available on social media. Don't be that. I'm telling you, I noticed this for myself, and I used to be silly like that, posting all over. Somebody bought me flowers, I posting the flowers, look, for everybody else to see. Right now, hardly ever I do that. I mean, it just you pretty much will never see, unless a man is looking for validation, then I will maybe post something. But for the most part, I don't. Again, it's very a man who doesn't know what you're doing wants to be part of your life, and he wants to bring you into his life, and he wants to, he's curious, he's interested in you. But when you're posting everything, he's like, this. What is that saying? The girl is for the streets or something. I mean, I wouldn't be saying this mean, but still, it's a little too much. So be a little mysterious, tell, if you are dating somebody, tell him, okay, I'm going on vacation, and then maybe don't post for a couple of days. Let him guess what you're doing. I would do that again, but then I don't post. I only post stuff that again was already long in the past. No, I do post some stories, but rarely. All right. Then, so unless you're a blogger, okay, so do not take me wrong. If this is your job, then do post. I mean, obviously, just maybe don't post everything that you do throughout the day. Unless this is something that you do all the time and this is your business, then you will be attracting different men, men who are also into this stuff. Okay, so a few more and we're done. So what you need to do also in all this, there is a lot of videos and a lot of people always tell you, if you want to have a rich provider man, you need to go to fancy places and by yourself sit there, order coffee, blah blah, all this. Okay, so I will alter it a little bit. You need to go out by yourself. That's true. You need, why? Because men usually approach women who are by themselves. If you're in the company, they are somewhat maybe intimidated. And look, you can have a provider man who is a little intimidated. If you are with your girlfriends, not every man will just come and start talking to you. So like give man an opportunity to. Now I would argue going to super fancy places. Why? Because you are attracting somebody who matches your energy. If you will go to a super fancy place and you will be out of place there, extremely awkward, you will not attract nobody. You will be all squeezed, all scared, you'll be like a little like a little animal who is scared of everything around. And don't do that like a mouse in front of a snake that's going to eat it. Don't do that. Go to semi nice places, like there is a couple places where I live here. There is this resort Diplomat. They have a lot of different conferences there. And one time me and my friend, we just went there because we wanted to grab something to eat. Oh my god, the people there, they have like this huge bar right in the welcoming area, and there are a lot of people, a lot of sitting areas. If I would want to provide a man, I would go right there. I would just take myself a coffee or something, and I would just sit there and just do something, maybe work on my phone, or I don't know, read or something. So this is what I would do. Now again, go out by yourself. Why? Because when you go out by yourself, you show that you deserve something nice. You deserve nicer places, nicer settings. Make sure that when you buy yourself something, you're not greedy. You are not like, oh my god, $5 for a cappuccino. Well, that's if you lucky. $7 for a cappuccino, and you'll squeeze. Do not do that. It won't do. Make sure that you're generous. You need to make sure if you're generous to yourself, man will be generous to you. Also, why it's good to go out like this, you need to meet men who are giving themselves something. Yes, there are provider men who never go out, who never spend money. Yes, there are, and I had a couple of those. But most men will act towards you the way they act towards themselves. So if they don't mind to spend, you know, $20, $30 on a drink for themselves, chances are very high they wouldn't mind to spend it on you. So again, it's a good opportunity to meet men. Again, my rules are: do not go to some place that's completely out of your lifestyle and your standards. Don't go somewhere super super wealthy and expensive. Why? Because you will look awkward there, out of place, and you know what? You will feel very self-conscious. You will be like, am I dressed enough? Is my clothes worthy of this place? I mean, is everybody looking at me? You don't want that. You want to feel like an awe, like but still somewhat comfortable. So go there. When I was traveling, I was traveling by myself, so obviously I was going out by myself. Always somebody always tries to speak to you. And sometimes I minded, sometimes I didn't, but it was an opportunity. But again, try to go to those places, nicer places, not super fancy. Well, fancier than you usually prefer, but not super super like. I guess I'm comparing everything to where I live, and I live in Miami, so here you can be very, very, you can go to a place that requires like $300 to just get in, to even put yourself on a seat, and then there is places that are super cheap. So, but what I'm saying is, try to upgrade yourself. Don't upgrade yourself all the way to, unless you have fire energy in you. And this would be a good place to meet with people. Feel confident though. Feel confident. Feel deserving. If you will feel like out of place, your eyes are like this, you're not looking at nobody, it won't do. It would be a good practice though, but it will not attract the man that you want to. Okay. What else? Um, yeah, a couple more things that I wanted to mention. When you are trying to get a provider man, remember, he's masculine, you're feminine. I would suggest that you act and dress accordingly. Um, I was watching this movie the other day, the program or something, and the guy said, I would date you, but I would not choose a woman who wears a suit, you know. And I was like, huh, because I used to wear suits all the time. And but it made sense. You see, if you want to be provided by a man, then look and act as a woman who is ready to be provided. You know, I don't say that you need to wear Lululemon or this cute suits, cute. Sets from Lululemon. I don't, but you need to be somewhat, I also don't tell that you need to wear long skirts all the time, but dress somewhat a little feminine, a little softer, a little more, a little more that shows that you like a softer kind of nicer lifestyle. If you're dressed for a heavy work day on the farm, I mean, you probably will be treated like that. So again, everybody has different styles. You know me, I always wear dresses. Has nothing to do with me trying to be more feminine. I always was like this since I was a child. Now, on the other hand, my family, my mom, my sister, they have a completely different style, but it correlates. They also wear kind of softer, kind of more feminine clothes. Yes, our styles are different, but they have the similarity. The softness is the similarity. So make sure that you do that. I mean, do not come on a date in a suit, like a navy suit. Like it would be you're not coming to fight with him. You're not coming to compete with him. He's not looking to do business with you. You're coming to show him that you could be soft and that you're ready for somebody to take the lead, like that. So it's not, I wouldn't say that it's super important, but it's somewhat important. Clothes is, it's what you feel inside, but the clothes is also important. Okay, and also here with the clothes, I guess it's not also that important, but make sure you don't look too flashy unless you feel really comfortable in that. Don't look too trashy, I would say. Don't look too cheap also. And I mean, the clothes that could be better, buy something, like a couple things that are a little, if you want the man to provide for you, show that you are providing for yourself, buy yourself something decent. Like I don't spend thousands of dollars on my clothes, but my clothes is, I would say, somewhat expensive. I have, like, for the most part, all my clothes is, yeah, it costs me. So men see that, I'm not flashy. I don't have this t-shirts that have brands on them. I obviously don't do that, but they see that my clothes is not, you can see that it's not cheap. So anyways, this is just a side note. I mean, clothes is just, anyways. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is do my meditations. Whether you're attracting a wealthy man, a provider man, just a man, still do my meditation. I'm going to put it, attract your partner. It is important. Meditation makes you change your energy a little bit, and everything is it comes with your energy. So meditation will help you to adjust the energy. All right, really fast, I will sum it up and I will answer this question and we'll be done. So again, if you are looking for a provider man, I didn't say that you were looking for a wealthy man, because wealthy man, I would change a few things here. But if you're looking for a man who provides, who've been programmed to care for somebody, who've been programmed to kind of to give, then this is what I would do. Exactly the steps, maybe fix them a little bit for myself, but for everybody else. And this is what I tell my ladies. All right. If you're looking for a wealthy man, then you need to watch a different video of mine. If you want, I can send it to you. But this is not, as I said, not every wealthy man is going to be generous. They will pay for what you guys do together, but it doesn't mean that he will provide for you. He might just be paying for your time. All right. So the first thing, what I would do, I would be unbothered by any kind of man that do not provide. I would not even pay attention to them. Like I would not even acknowledge that in my life. The second thing, I will start saying to myself and to others that I love being taken care of. I would get comfortable with that feeling. I would start speaking about this more and more to others, So then at one point I will believe it, and it will start showing in my life. I would, when I will talk to my friends, to anybody, I would make sure that there is no conversation like, "Am I enough? Should I work out harder, or should I do this, or should I do that?" Kind of to get a man. Then the next thing that I would stop doing, I would stop trying to prove that I'm super independent. Who needs that? Be independent, but don't throw it into everybody's face. It's just men want to be useful. They don't want to compete with somebody. Then I would never explain my standards. Standards are felt. It would be very desperate if you are trying to prove your standards. If you have to prove your standards, then these are not your standards. Standards are felt from a mile away. If somebody doesn't act to your standards, then you don't have those standards, and there's no point in fighting a man. Just move on, and that's it. I would speak only authentically. I would be the one who I would care for. Men do not really get offended like that. The men who get offended are the ones who don't have much testosterone, and you really do need a man like that. If I would be disappointed in something, I would never make a scene any longer. I would just walk out. That's just it. And when I speak about my stand, well, not my stand, but what I want in life, how I want in life, I would never put it on a man. I would speak about this like I'm ready to give it to myself. Man will want to kind of to provide. Then what else would I do? I would start trusting men in my life. If the man that I have, you see, I have my father sadly passed away, but I have a brother. I have a few cousins, male cousins. They are far away, but I'm sure if I ask them for something, they will do it for me. I trust them, especially my brother. I trust him very much. It wasn't always like this, but I trust him now very, very much. My brother is, he's masculine. He's not always the easiest to talk to, but he is somebody I can count on for sure, for sure. I have a few friends, male friends. I also know that I can count on them. Like I trust them, I trust them with everything. And I attract men who I can trust as well. I don't know, just how it is. So you always attract what you already project. If you could not trust men that are in your life, chances are very high you will attract men who you could not trust, who would constantly validate your trust, and you'll be like, look, I told you, I could not trust them. So you need to start with those men. Then what you need to do, you need to stop with trying to impress a man that you are not that high maintenance, that you don't need that much. Get rid of that. He didn't even ask you yet, and you're already trying like, no, and you're already trying to save his money. Like I remember I went on a date once. It was so long ago. It was in New York, and I was trying to act like my friend. So I told him something like, you shouldn't be spending so much. Money is not growing on a tree. So I thought he would appreciate me because I'm so concerned about his money, and he was. But you know what? In the long run, he really did not appreciate, yeah, that's true. And he didn't appreciate me in the long run because I showed I was low maintenance. He treated me as a low maintenance, and don't do that. I mean, don't do that kind of thing to yourself. All right. So, and then what else? If you want a provider man, make sure that you do not act like a provider man or like a mother to a provider man. Be soft with your boundaries. Be soft with your life. If a man can only call you at 12 o'clock, then maybe this is the only time you should be available to answer him. Be a little bit flexible. I have clients that are like, I want a man to do this and this and this, and they're like, oh, why is he calling me? I'm sorry, but the one who is paying is ordering the music. You can't really be boss. Like he will respect you, and he will respect you and appreciate you if you will be a little flexible and accommodate him a little bit. Don't be this snow queen that wants everybody to cater to her, wants a strong man, but yet wants him to grovel and on his knees for her attention. I mean, what kind of do you understand? I mean, it does make no sense to me. It always makes me laugh. So be a little flexible with your boundaries. I don't say allow him to abuse you, but be open to kind of to maybe change a little bit your schedule if needs to accommodate him. Again, if he's providing for you, if he not, it's not just you're just dating him, then you need to start living your life like you are not really looking. Start live your life like, okay, I'm going to be in a relationship in 2 months. Let me enjoy this, let me enjoy my life right now as a single person. Let me see my girlfriends. Let me go everywhere I want to, because soon I will be in a relationship, and you will see how fast you will be taken. And this is the first one. And then romanticize your life. Make sure that you're not hating your life. Make sure, because if you are not enjoying your life, a man will be like, oh my God, she's so hard to please, she's not happy with nothing. But when you're enjoying everything, he will want to be part of that enjoyment. So do enjoy, romanticize life, find something that you do like about your life right now. Now, from here, don't be too active on social media, especially if you do it on purpose for everybody to see that you are, that you have such an amazing life. I know, I can see that from far away. I can see when people are authentic with their social media, and when they're doing it on purpose. And I even coach a couple of big bloggers who are doing it on purpose. I know what they do, trying to do. So do not do that. Doesn't make no sense. Try to be more mysterious. A man must know that you are not available for everybody, that you can be available only for him. Even though it's a fleeting kind of assurance, he still would want, for at least for a moment, to feel that. And then another one is, do go out by yourself, but again, don't go out to places that are way out of your standards. You will be only intimidated, scared. You would not be able to talk to nobody. Go somewhere where you feel inspired, you feel in awe, but you are comfortable. Like it expands you a little bit, but not to the point that you already want to shrink and just hide somewhere from everybody. It's a good practice, because men do approach usually when you're by yourself. It shows that you are ready to treat yourself. A man sees that you're treating yourself, so he will be like, oh, okay, she treats herself, I'm better, need to treat her as well. And usually you meet men who are not afraid of spending. They spend on themselves, they will spend on you as well. And these are men that are a little higher energetically than you are. So if you go to the place that is a little bit uncomfortable, but yet still okay, you will attract a man who is a little uncomfortable, but still okay. So it's good. It's good, because if you will be attracting a billionaire, the gap is too big. You probably will. It probably won't work. So, and one more thing, do adjust your dress a little bit. If you want to provide a man, then act as a woman who is provided for. So dress more feminine. I don't exactly like this, because you can be wearing pants and be feminine. So it's not that you need to wear skirts. I'm not like promoting on the skirts. This is not true. But do dress like you enjoy a softer life, like you enjoy kind of being not rushed. If you like heels, wear heels. If you like to kind of to dress up, to dress up. A woman like this, like you can see that she likes to take care of herself. So she needs somebody who will take care of her. But again, don't be too flashy. Nobody likes that. I mean, unless you really, really can pull it through, you feel very comfortable, this is your style, then then go for it. And the last one is do my meditations. Meditations will put you in the right state of mind and energy. Every time I wanted a man, I did my meditation, attract a partner. Not because I couldn't attract, but because I needed the right energy at those moments. Man can feel whether you're open to them or you're not. So like that. Okay, ask questions. I will answer this. So what if they're your boss? I don't have problems with men in my personal life. I just started a new job and I'm shocked by the treatment. Chances are high that you are competing with your boss, or you're criticizing him. So remember, you have roles, and with this particular man, your role is an employee, not a woman like who flirts with the man. Talk to him as like all. Do not allow yourself any kind of, I wouldn't say insubordination. I would say more like any frivolities. Like make sure that you you treat him according to your kind of your role. So your role is employee and the manager or the boss, whoever. Now another thing that the man could treat you bad. So we always treat it the way you feel. Maybe you are afraid to lose the job. I remember I had a terrible manager at the moment when I really felt like I couldn't lose the job. Like I need to hold on to this. Like, what will I do if I lose it? And my manager got sick of something. I don't know what happened to her, but we got a replacement somebody, and he was just so horrible. And usually man is so nice as a managers, but he was just I don't know why. So if you feel like you depended on him, like if you feel like you could not lose this job, he will feel your fear and he will act accordingly. Also, if you act as a child, another person will act as a parent. So I don't know your story, but if any of this could be, then probably. So if you act as a child, like a helpless child, you don't know, you don't take responsibility, and you constantly on his back to solve it for you, he will at one point will start acting as an angry parent. So make sure, but again, make sure that there is the right kind of the right roles. He's your boss first, not a man. Like, he's a man in your life, but he's a boss first. So you need to treat him according to that roles. Make sure that you don't feel like you could not find any other job and you depending on this. I mean, this is never true. And don't act as a child. Act as an adult. Yes, you still may be learning. Yes, you still yes, you don't know everything, but take the responsibility. Take the responsibility for your job. And I hope that's helpful. Again, I don't know the situation, so I am only answering what it is. Depends on what industry you are into. Yeah, that's true. Also depends on what industry you are in. Some are easier, some not. But I noticed that if you keep the roles with anything and with everybody right, you will be treated accordingly. So if I am self-sufficient, kind of confident, I know that I can change the job. I know that I will not have problems with the jobs. Then my managers, my superiors always treat me much nicer. That was in my previous career, because I didn't have this fear. They could feel that I was confident, and that's what it was. And obviously, I remember when I started one of my jobs long time ago, I was acting like this. I was acting somewhat like a child, and it was embarrassing. But he was helping me out a lot. And at one point, he started getting like he started acting like an angry parent at some point. And I understand why, because every little thing, and I would go to him to ask, instead of doing my research, instead of calling the support, instead of looking at policies and procedures or something. So again, I adjusted myself. I took the responsibility for my life and for my job and for my position. Okay, I hope I helped you. If there are no more questions, then let's finish. Let me know if you're going to try get yourself a provider man. Again, I wanted to mention this. A provider man is not always wealthy. Do not think it's the same. Wealthy men often feel like everybody wants their money, and so they don't want to provide. People already love them because they have money. Often a provider man is an average person who has a really good job or maybe a couple properties. He will provide to you much more than some wealthy guy who takes you here and there on his jet. In those moments, you are an entertainment. You're also entertainment to your provider man, but at least you're the only entertainment, and he will value you and respect you. I don't say that a wealthy man could not be a provider who would really appreciate you. Could be, but start with small. If you couldn't make an average kind of man in your neighborhood provide for you, it would be very hard to be a Cinderella in somebody else's story. It's not. It's not like this. Look at the what is her name, Lauren Sanchez, right? She was always going after man with money. But there was like, if you look at her kind of career, she was, um, there were levels of men. So do not try to pull like the wealthiest man. Feel comfortable to get presents from men who are in your life right now, who are maybe not super wealthy, but who can give you something. Start with little, expand yourself little by little. Do not jump into, okay, that's it, I'm either getting a billionaire or nobody else. You will just waste your time, because you're attracting what you can on your energy, not on what you want, what you saw in the video somewhere in the movie. So again, that would be much smarter, much better. A provider man is not always wealthy man. I want to tell you, as I said in the beginning, most of my really nice presents, most of the money, most of the really nice treatment I got from men who were not wealthy, and who maybe shouldn't even done that, but it expanded them and it made me feel great. So like that, keep that in mind, please. My friends right now, the ones that are married, the ones that are in relationship, are provided, pretty much everybody. But those men are not super wealthy. They just have a good income. They have kind of some investments, I assume, from what I see. I don't know really, but they are providing, but according to to your standards. And then you can expand. You can expand yourself. You can expand your man. It will gradually come, or you can change the man. Maybe in a little bit you will be ready for something bigger. It doesn't, it's nothing wrong with that. So again, I hope it makes sense. Please send this video to anybody who is looking for a man like this, who again, it would be a good video to watch after you watch Change Your Energy, Change Your Love Life. Because if you could not even draw man into your life, then talking about a provider would be maybe premature. He's 2 years older than me, and he says I don't care, but I think it's because I'm out of his league. But I just want to work and not get personal. Well, look, if you think like this, if you think that he thinks that you're out of his league, then you're already competing with him. You see, you shouldn't. He feels that. He feels that you feel that you're better than him. Try to see something that you respect him about. Try to see strength in him. He will feel it. He will feel it, and he will adjust his attitude towards you. I had this problem, not with the man, it was a woman. And I have master's degree. And my superior hardly had a high school diploma. And I felt like this. I felt like, how dare she to tell me anything if I'm so much more educated than she is. It was a long time ago. And she was given to me to show that education is not always everything. And I felt I was secretly, maybe, I wouldn't say despised her, but I was like diminishing her in my eyes. And she felt it. And like she was almost not fighting, but she would always, like, we had this difficult tension all the time. And at one point I realized, I'm just, what did my university degree gave me? Nothing, she's making more money than I do. She's making my life difficult. It was, so I dropped myself from that pedestal that I put myself on. Yeah, I'm grateful that I had the masters, but who cares really? In real life, that's not what's important. And our relationship with her became almost bearable, like good. So I started respecting her, that she was strong enough to get to that position without any kind of degree. And and I stopped kind of putting myself above everywhere just because I have the degree. And we started, the relationship became bearable. I would say we became very comfortable with each other. And then I got transferred to another place and got promotion. So you see, I try to compete unknowingly with her just because I thought that I'm better. So maybe this is the issue. Try to find something that makes you respect him, and you will see he will feel it, and he will act differently towards you. Good luck anyways. And if it's really, really bad, then don't tolerate it. I mean, I'm sure you can speak to HR or something. But if you will adjust your energy, you will see he will also. Just try to be maybe a little softer and try to find something that you do respect him for. I mean, he's your boss, must be something to respect him for. All right, that's it. It's Sunday, it's time to go. I wish you all to have an amazing Sunday and beautiful week. It's new moon, so start something. Well, don't start something new because Mercury retrograde still, but do enjoy this time, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye, TikTok. Bye, YouTube. Thank you for being here. Send this video to anybody who is looking for a provider man. Please use this as your template. I will put the videos right now, so if you want to watch those videos as well, you can do. And I will see you next Sunday at 11. Bye, everybody.